Are you a tradie or are you a boss? Or are you kind of on the way from one to the other, right? And it's an important thing for you to do is to shift the way you operate and the way you think from being a tradesperson and what's been working for you thus far to being a boss or a business owner or a leader and a manager, right? The journey started in your business when you were an apprentice and then when you were a tradesperson, didn't it? Being told what to do, working to a deadline, there's shit to do, you've got to do it. And as a tradie, it's good to have a mindset of kind of putting your head down and getting on with work. Okay, and a lot of my clients come to me with very much that mindset. There's work to be done, I'll just sort of smash through it. Okay, and as a boss, that's not so helpful. You need a different mindset. It's your job to hold the big picture for your team. It's your job to hold the vision for your business. It's your job to steer the ship and keep everything moving towards the ultimate goal. It's your job to be in control of your business. And if you don't attend to that responsibility, those things won't happen, right? You won't push your business, or your business won't move towards the beautiful vision for it. You'll just churn through work. And sure, you'll churn through work and you'll generate income, but you won't move your business where you want it to go and you won't be looking after all those other people. So it won't help you much. Okay, so this means staying focused. It means making sure you prioritize your priorities rather than everyone else's priorities. It means making sure your decisions are made with those priorities in mind, okay? It probably means, I think it means, making a plan and sticking to it. Now, as a tradie, when you're on the tools and focused on doing work, you can stop what you're doing and you can respond to a thing that pops up. You might not want to if you're on a job, but you can, right? You can, as a boss, you kind of can't, okay? You need to make sure you give some time to the work that will move your business forward. Too many trades business owners make this mistake. They're still performing as a tradie. They're reacting to everything that comes up as though urgent things have kind of the ultimate priority. One of the reasons this happens, and this is the psychology part of this, I may have mentioned my partner Michelle is a psychologist, and she's been helping me understand how our brains help us and hinder us when we're growing a business. Okay, one of the reasons this happens for trades business owners is you're very busy. There's always lots to do, isn't there? Seems like there's not enough hours in the day. Feels like you can't kind of let go and hand over the reins to the boys, and you have to be in control all the time. So you stay on top of all the jobs and you smash through work. Now this creates a bottleneck. Giving over control is something you're going to need to come to terms with at some point, right? And we'll talk about that a bit more later. Let's focus on busy for the moment. When we have lots to do, it can be stressful. It can feel like nothing ever gets completed, or if it does, you're just on to the next thing, right? I'm very fond of saying to people, you're never going to get to the end of the day and think, oh, that's it, I've finished, I've done everything, right? It never happens. There's always more shit to do. So it's natural and it's human to want to get the things that need doing done. It's natural to want to smash through all the urgent stuff. We actually get a dopamine hit in our brains when we finish something and when we tick things off our list. Dopamine, if you don't know this, is the cocaine high, right? It's the same high you get when you get cocaine, when you have cocaine, right? So it's nice. People like it. It's why people love to-do lists. They get to tick things off and they get a cocaine-like high. Not as much as they like cocaine, probably, or not as much as when you have a big line of cocaine, but you get that same reward. That's how cocaine works. There's also a concept called hyperbolic discounting, which we all do. There's a famous study where the majority of people who were offered $50 today or $100 in a week, a majority of them chose the 50 today rather than waiting a week for the 100. They chose the smaller good today over the larger good thing later. That's pretty stupid, you might think. Right? You only have to wait a week for twice the money, but most people, most of us, will choose the 50. So what we're doing there, what's going on there is people are making radically worse decisions when they're thinking about the present or the short term than they do if time's not so much of a factor. So how does this apply to you? How much of that do you do? How often do you go for the 50 instead of the 100? Do you cancel important meetings because something urgent's come up? Right? Because Mrs. Jones is upset about the angle of a bookshelf or whatever, right? Do you skip your business coaching sessions with me assuming you've got a business coach, because some things come up and you've got to be on site. Okay? Do you not do the big, important, but long-term things because you've got so many urgent things to deal with? And if you do, you're engaging in hyperbolic discounting, right? And it's okay for a tradie to do that, but can you afford to do that if you're a boss? And of course, the answer is no, you'll never get where you want to go if you always do it. You can do it sometimes, right? Remember, as a boss, it's up to you to hold the vision, steer the ship in the right direction. You can't afford to be pulled off course by the 50 when you're aiming for the $100. And think of it this way. I'm nearly at the end. You may have a goal to make $3 million in revenue with a 10% net profit. The job that needs you might be worth 30K. That might seem like too much to risk if you upset Mrs. Jones and her pantry shelf. But if you keep engaging in hyperbolic discounting, you'll probably never get to the 3 million and 10%. Because every time you do it, you're not steering the ship. You're down there in the weeds, right? So even though it seems like human nature to be stupid and take the 50 over the 100, it works in your favor long term to be smart and to keep the $3 million in mind. You can find somebody else to respond to the thing that pops up to look after Mrs. Jones. Or you can probably even see to it after your important meeting or thing, right? That important thing you need to attend to. Now, I talked about not giving over control before. I won't go into it now too much, but here's a little concept for you to think about. Not doing everything yourself is being more in control than having your hands all over everything. Yeah, I know, right? So this is one part of a series of videos about developing a business mindset. It's a new part of our business coaching. It's a new part of our program. Like I said, we've got Michelle Hanish on board. If you're interested in developing your business mindset, comment mindset and we'll send you our free how to shift to a business mindset worksheet over. Okay, and that takes some of these ideas in this video and the next ones in the series and talks about some concrete things you can actually do that will help you shift your mindset. See ya.